Husqvarna? Some of you will be like, huh? Exactly. There are still some Pinoy riders who are not familiar with the brand Husqvarna. Imagine that! This despite the fact that they've been around the two-wheeled industry since 1903. Even if they've been around that long, they actually have gone through numerous foster parents. The most recent one was BMW Motorrad back in 2012, and now currently it's under the very able wing of KTM.
Bawat sandali naaalala ang mga pinagsaluhang ngiti at mga pagdurusa lahat na.
This is the second Husqvarna to roll through the Makina garage. The first one we tried is the Svartpilen 401, which means white arrow, just to recap here. And what we have now is the Svartpilen, which means black arrow in Swedish. Main difference of the two? The seating orientation. Since KTM is the parent company of Husqvarna, it would make absolute sense to be sharing technology here and there, as opposed to having to develop a new engine and chassis for two different bikes within the same power and segment. And my goodness, look at how KTM did it with the Svartpilen and Svartpilen. Who would have thought the two bikes would share so much with the Duke 390? Huh? They're like twins that don't look like each other. The engine of the Svartpilen uses the tried and tested, highly regarded KTM 390 Duke engine. Power is at 44 horses paired with 27.3 Nm of torque. Apart from that, we also have them sharing the chassis, the brakes, suspension, the exhaust, or about 80% of it, and the ride-by-wire throttle system. All of that the same. Weight is a very nimble 355 pounds. Seat height is 32.9 inches. Brakes out in front will be 4-piston radial calipers, and the rear will be a single-piston floating caliper. We have 2-channel ABS, and wheels are 17s wrapped with some knobbies. Husqvarna Svartpilen 401. Again, before na-feature na po natin yung Svartpilen, yung racer version nito na 400 series din. So ngayon, meron tayong Svartpilen na 401. There's a... I wonder if... Isusian. Aha! It worked. Tanggal ko siya. Normally, you'd find the key to get this thing out usually under here, diba? More or less. But yung susian niya nandito. Just to show you, see? It's moving. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. And once we get to take this one out, we can take the rest out so I can show you the layout right under. Very neat, very okay. Some space here para sa papel. Meron kang Husqvarna tools. So it is laid out properly and fine. Nothing is out of place. Actually, maganda nga yung layout niya kung pansinin mo. Wala akong masyadong nakikitang wires. In fact, everything is solid panels like this cover here for the air filter, I'd say. The only wire I see is this one. Ito lang yung nakikita kong wire. Lahat nakatago na. So very neat. Side stand is down, which is great. If I were to comment though, I think it would be great if there's distinction dito sa 401 series na maybe ma-TFT na nila to. That would have been, wow, TFT. For the 400 series, and then 201 could be like this. I don't know, maybe upping the game in that part since it has a more powerful engine. KTM has used the Duke 390 as a paintbrush to paint a picture of performance and reliability. The Husqvarna benefits from this in the sense that one would look at this as a looker bike more than anything. So this can appeal to the rider that will sacrifice all for looks. It's a good thing this Husky has KTM blood flowing through its veins, because even if we have a rider who doesn't care about such things, he or she is gonna get him anyway. And we're talking about reliability and performance. bike is an urban enduro. It can give off a message of being able to do off-road, but its natural habitat will be the city. This bike will look small under people who have a much lusted after body like mine. Then again, almost all bikes look small under me anyways. As such, it doesn't mean that this will feel like one is riding a bicycle for 6-year-olds. It'll just look small, but when you're on it, it will feel like a regular standard bike. Some of the cool stuff we have here right off the bat would be the idea that you are getting Pirellis with a purchase. The pillion pegs are detachable, the handlebars are nice and wide, producing good leverage, and of course, its design. It's just killer. I'd love to have every morning with a Svartpilen as company, looking at it while sipping coffee. With a bike like this, you would want to take a bath all the time, look good, smell good, and be sharp looking. That's the effect of this bike. What is unique with the Svartpilen is that its looks come off as futuristic and old at the same time. Such a statement can melt many brains. Let me explain. Imagine this bike coming out in 2080. Then us, we're gonna travel to the future in 2100. So in 2100, because we came from the past, this bike will look new. But to the people in 2100, it's gonna look old. Something like that. Get it?
Svartpilen, of course, amongst the lineups, maraming bumili ng 401 na Svartpilen dahil, well, there's just basically, there's just more power. Diba? Ganda alis. But then again, syempre, pag mas malakas ngayon yung motor mo, you need better braking in that sense. The faster your bike goes, the better your brakes must be. So, simulan natin sa likod. I'm at 45 kilometers an hour right now. Medyo gentle yung brakes na sa likod. Tapos yung palo ng ABS, you really gotta press it to make sure it kicks in. But at the end of the day, yun nga, hindi naman po tayo nag-skip sa likod. That guy peeing? Man, he's peeing in public. My goodness! Now I have seen everything in Makina Moto features. May nagwiwiwi po sa village namin sa labas. Ano pa naman yung pumasok ka, may CR naman sa bahay nyo, di ba? Report kayo sa barangay. Rear brakes. Okay, so take note, it's gonna be gentle braking sa likod with the ABS kicking in quite soon. Now, let's go for the front brakes. Easy muna sa harap. Alam mo pa paano mo how to be safe also in riding. Sometimes you can just think na huwag ka magtiwala sa brakes, in the sense na be wary that you can lose the rear and the front. If you put a mindset na huwag ka magtiwala sa brakes masyado, tendency easy ka lang sa braking mo and you're gonna try to pump it. Yung point is you're gonna have a mindset na ayaw mong pag-skid. So to avoid that, you have to learn how to be pumping with your brakes. Mas lalo na pag walang ABS. Okay, so let's try the front now. Just a bit. Okay. A little bit faster. Okay. Nice. ABS is kicking fast as well. Mas maganda yung response ng brakes sa harap, which is usually the case with motorcycles. You're gonna have more powerful front brakes compared to the rear. Try the front. A bit faster now. Wow, okay. I noticed also from about 40, big spurt of 40 kilometers, 50 kilometers an hour, sudden brake right before you stop. Biglang papalo ng ABS. Let's try both now. Press out the brakes. Okay. Alright, pretty good braking. You gotta put a bit more force. You can feel the grip of the brakes. You gotta, sa paa, you gotta really stomp on it. On your front brakes, you can slam it. So I guess para dun sa mga, alam mo, emergency situation, nagpapanik ka. Alam mo, when you're faced with a gulatan moment, panic, you will be surprised on how strong you become. At medyo nagigrip mo talaga yung brakes mo. And minsan, dun pa nagkakadisgrasya. So the bike is okay with you stomping on the brake and gripping hard. And it's gonna stop fine. That, folks, is the brakes of the Svartpilen 401.
In this series, I get that there will always be some conservative riders who will shy away from this because of its forward-looking design. However, I can see that there will also be some riders who will naturally gravitate towards this, like some artists, musicians, people who want to be different and go against the flow. Those riders who won't settle to riding what everybody is riding. But no matter what camp you are on, the good thing is that we have the bones and innards of a KTM within this bike. That's somewhat some peace of mind, on top of the fact that in our country, the parent company of KTM is Ayala Corporation. No perfect bike out there, and I believe its design can both be a come-on and an unfamiliar approach that can pull away some people. So I feel that maybe they can add some more familiarity to cater to a bigger rider market. Perhaps accessorize it more, offer more options, and give more colors to suit personalities of riders aplenty. Or they can just stick with it and just focus on the rider with exquisite taste. You know, it's bikes like these that make one thankful to be alive and around to see a motorcycle like the Svartpilen roll on the streets. I think it's quite obvious. I'm a big fan of this series. This is Zach from Makina Moto Features. Oh, by the way, I'd like to remind everybody the Makina Moto Show is happening on July 29, 30, and 31 at the SMX Convention Center in Pasay. 4 days, 3 halls, 1 motorcycle industry. I'll see you guys there. It's gonna be fun. This is Zach from Makina Moto Features. Ciao.
September in my eyes, like a diamond in the sky. How I wonder, satellite strong from